So I'd really say it's for any kind of creative freelancer that feels dissatisfied or confused or a little bit scared and fearful to take the next step in the growth of, their future. But I mean, even if you think you've got it all figured out, there's a lot that you can learn here.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining in. And I am Jessica Lohmann from Ethical Brand Marketing, and I'm joined by Safiya Allaf, a wonderful copywriter who joined me and others on the Marketing by Nature program, which helps freelancing creatives in the eco space develop and master marketing and messaging skills in an ethical way so that they can stand out and attract new mission-aligned clients. And Safiya is one of the early adopters. So she was in the first round of Marketing by Nature, which started in November last year and ended at the beginning of February. So, Safiya, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Yes, that was a lovely introduction. So, as you said, I am a creative copywriter and strategist. I'm mainly working with sustainable and circular fashion brands, which we'll get into, I'm sure, later. But Marketing by Nature really helped me focus down on that niche and figure out that that's where I wanted to be and who I wanted to work with. So, it's still early days, but I'm really enjoying it so far. And what I mainly try to do with my clients is help them get clear on their messaging, their whole like brand tone of voice, and working on those kind of important documents for them to set them up for success so that when they do come to do all of their later copywriting, and whether that's with or without me, they have that really solid like framework to work from. And also doing all of the lovely copywriting as well.
Yeah, I mean, she's amazing. I've read some of her work. I'm like, wow, yes.
Oh, that's so nice for you to say.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. So, can you please tell us why you joined Marketing by Nature?
When you approached me about Marketing by Nature, it came at like the most perfect time because I'd been freelance for a few months. I was still keeping myself quite general, but I always knew that I wanted to focus on sustainable and ethical brands. And that's the kind of this eco space was where I wanted to be. It's always been my passion for a long time. But I had this like mental block of thinking, oh, I can't do that. I'm just a freelancer. This is something for like big agencies to do, or I don't have enough experience. And so, when you kind of explain Marketing by Nature to me, I was like, actually, this is exactly what I need to really help me focus in and gain that confidence, but also the accountability to actually do all of this background work, which I do for my clients, no problem, but doing it for myself was like really difficult and challenging to find that time and not get so caught up in, oh, but I need to be focusing on all of the client stuff. I was trying to get to point B before I'd done everything at point A. So that was, yeah, my main kind of motivator for joining.
Yeah, it's kind of just hard to do for yourself sometimes because you're so deep into it, like, which is what creatives actually tell their clients, like, don't do it yourself if that's not, you know, your expertise, or if you just don't have time to do it, or,
Mm.
be concentrating on other things, right? So, how do you feel about that problem or your struggle back then now?
I feel like it's not a problem anymore. So that's really good. But I think that like for me, it was a lack of confidence, a lack of direction, and like self-belief in that I could like chase after the niche that I want to go into and actually not feel silly about second guessing my LinkedIn posts and just getting stuff out there. So it's definitely solved all of that by, having like the strategic framework to work from and having all of the documents that you gave us and all of the amazing like mirror boards that we did and just being able to really get down to like the nitty-gritty of what it is that we want to say and who we want to work with. Obviously that all helps, but I think it was just the confidence and the having that accountability that actually made me action all of those things.
Mm. Yeah, and you did. You like powered right right through it.
And I'm still
Stuff
working
done.
on it. I'm still working on it. I'm
Yeah.
still like revisiting things and I'm still
Yeah.
like refining things. And like, as you always said, it's never going to be a one and done job. You're always going to revisit it. And that's something that I tell my clients as well. Like you can't just write your website once and hope for the best. You've got to
Yeah.
keep refining and fine tuning and listening to what your audience is saying and their experience. So it's kind of ironic that I wasn't doing that for myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we just want, although we talk about like slow fashion, slow food, slow production, right? Sustainability, when it comes to our own business, we like want results like right now. Like,
Hmm.
let's go. I remember in the beginning, there was a bit of hesitancy to join.
Mm.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I think initially it was just like the financials
Mm,
because I was like, whoa, I've never actually dropped this amount of money on my business and like
mm,
haven't invested that amount of money in my business because I was very much in this like I'm a single freelancer who has, I can't spend any money on anything apart from like my website. And I was like, even that was like, whoa, do we really want to spend this much money on a website? I feel like that was, again, another kind of mindset shift of actually, I'm going to get this money back tenfold if I just invest my time and my energy into the course. Because already everything that I've learned from the course and have actioned and implemented has brought in new opportunities. And I know that it will continue to bring in more opportunities like down the line. Like this time next year, I'll be like, why did I even hesitate on investing in my business? And even since then, I've actually like started investing a little bit more in other kind of tools and
mm.
things that I was just using the free version of, but it wasn't really working for me because I needed access to the more things. And I was like, well, no, it's fine. But I realized and then that was blocking me from actually making my offers as good as they could be. And I was like, why don't you just pay the £12 a month? Just pay the £12 a month for this, and then you'll be able to actually service your clients in the way that you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a bit of a hesitation initially, but I thought about it and obviously being like an early adopter, we did get a very, very generous discount. So I think it was worth every penny.
Yeah, I think just to bounce off that, the financial investment, and I also say like time and financial investment, because I feel that humans in general, we don't value our time as much.
Mm,
And the thing is that we will spend more time trying to get something to work instead of paying for somebody else to do it, or paying for coaching, or paying for a tool, or whatever it is, right?
mm,
Because we feel, okay, time is, yeah, they say time is money, but that's actually not true. Like, time is not money. Time is finite and money is
mm,
infinite, right? So, you only have a limited amount of time. And if you spend it wisely, and concentrate on profitable tasks and things that will help your business grow and help you get new clients and serve them well, then that's the time worth spent. But if you spend
mm,
it on DIY things that are not in your capacity, then that's just basically wasting your time and costing you a lot of money, because it will take you a lot longer to get where you need to be financially. So money's a big thing. It's a big block for everybody, and especially with creatives, because we go into this business with no investment. Like, we don't have to make a huge investment to become a freelancer,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
We have a few tools, software, right? We just use our talent. And so it's so easy to get into that mindset of like, oh, well, I don't need to spend money. I don't need to invest in my business. And it's just it ends up taking us so much longer, like a lot
yeah.
longer to get to where we need to be, and struggling along the way, right? Because I've seen this in myself. It took me how many 3 years to invest in a coach and a program. I mean, I got the necessary software, but like you said, like the
Mm.
not I was on free versions of a lot of things, and it took me 3 years. And some people it takes them a lot longer. Was this your first online course, or first time you've yeah, invested in a coach?
Technically, yes. Although my sister is a business coach. Other than that, no, this is like the first time I've like actually paid for a full course online and, done it start to finish. I've joined some like free sort of challenges here and there, or
Mhm.
like a free webinar or masterclass, which have all been like valuable, but this is the first time that I've done a course. I was actually, I'm just remembering, I was part of a like group coaching thing called the Flow Collective, and I was part of that for a year.
Mm,
Did
nice.
I join any calls?
Oh
Did I
no.
do any of the masterclasses? Did I, actually use it? Not really. So I think I was glad to be a part of it, but I think me personally, I need that accountability of no, you've got a call at 2 every Tuesday and Friday. You've got those calls, you have the homework you need to do, you need to have, these deadlines. And I think for me, that's what I needed to actually see it through. And that's not to say that this previous coaching thing isn't good. It was
Right.
really, really good, but it just wasn't, I just struggled to hold myself accountable for
Yeah.
it and find the time. And I think there was so much material given to you that you could kind of dip in and out. And they always, the messaging was very much do as much or as little as you want. There's no pressure. But me being like a completionist, I was like, well, I've got to start from number one and work my way down to like whatever number it was, like hundreds of things. And then that became very overwhelming. So I think having it drip fed the way that you did it in Marketing by Nature, where yes, it was a lot of work and it was at times quite overwhelming with how much we had to get through, it made it more manageable because it was like, this is the module that we're working on right now. This is the lesson. This is the homework. And just tick it off in that way.
We did live calls and workshops, and yeah, had like work reviews and hot seats, and it was kind of a mix of every kind of facilitation type of call. So that I think that helped. And also, like, we have a Discord channel where we can ask questions and stuff. We can get some group support as well, not just me talking. So I think that helps the accountability, right? And
Hmm.
I know you guys are really close right now, so it's like a really, yeah, good thing that, you are keeping contact with everybody else too. And okay, what would you say would be your biggest win during this program? Or even now, like from
Oh, I think like confidence has
mm,
been the biggest one for me because I feel like there are lots of other wins, but if I hadn't have had the confidence, I wouldn't have done any of those other things.
mm, mm,
Um,
big one, yeah.
so that's why I think that's kind of like the umbrella, and then under that would be actually choosing to niche down into sustainable and circular fashion and believe in myself that I, could follow my passion for it and make that into my career. And then just off the back of updating my LinkedIn, I've been invited to do 2 talks, different networking events, which is really cool, all around like sustainability and the kind of like sector that I've chosen that I want to work in.
Mm,
Um, had I not had the confidence to update my LinkedIn and put myself out there, those opportunities wouldn't have come my way. So it's yeah, the confidence is definitely like the number one.
cool. Yeah, that's a big one. Working with clients for, 11 years and being in other programs, I just noticed like the strategy part is okay. It's like deep work, but then as soon as people have to go to talk to clients or have to take that initial step and put themselves out there, that's when they're like, oh, that's when
Mm,
they freeze. And it does take confidence, it takes bravery, and it takes yeah, just a lot of uh gusto to make that decision and do it, right? It takes
mm,
a lot. And creatives, you know we're not all extroverts and yay, let me go out there and and show myself and whatever. It's a big thing, and it'll definitely help, because you have to take that first step, right? That first step.
mm.
The other ones will come. And then the other ones will be easier,
I'm
right?
sending LinkedIn DMs left, right, and center.
All right.
Like, I think I probably before I would have been like sent one. If no one replied, I would have been like, right, well, that's it. I'm not
That's
gonna.
right.
Yeah, definitely giving me that confidence to think, and as well, like think of myself as a business owner, not just a freelancer. Like
Mm,
I am big enough to be able to say, I have a business. Not to say that if you call yourself a freelancer is a bad word, it's not, but I think just
Right.
for me, having freelancer made me feel a bit smaller and like I was just going to do whatever the client wanted, rather than as business owner makes me feel like I have more to offer and that I can, you know, pinpoint what problems my clients have and go to them and say, look, this is how I can help you, rather than then coming to me with their problems. If
Right.
that makes it, it's a little like distinction for me, but if anyone is like happy calling themselves a freelancer and feels quite like big and empowered with that, then that's fine. Like I still do say I'm a freelance copywriter, but just having that little switch in my brain of like, you own a business, Saf. You own a business. I'm like, yeah, I do.
Exactly. Exactly. You weren't the only one who said that. It is a big shift. And, like you said, nothing wrong with it. There's nothing negative. However, when you think of freelancing, like you just think of keeping yourself small. Like there are
Hmm.
even, times when some creatives will tell me, yeah, but I can't earn enough. I can't earn that much this year because I'll get taxed more because then I go over that tax bracket. And I'm like, that would be wonderful. Go do that.
Mm,
Get over that tax bracket because it's only a percentage. It's like you want to earn that. You want to become a business owner and make that shift in your mind because
hmm.
sure you could just do it on the side and if you have, especially like if you have a partner or a husband or a wife who's like supporting you in their real job, then yeah, you don't have maybe enough of a motivation like for
Mm,
right. That's another thing. It's easy to fall into that trap. Like, okay, I'm a freelancer, I'll just do my passion, I'll just put out my website and people will come and just kind of have that dreamlike state of creating things, but actually it's a business. It's
yeah.
a business and it needs to be treated as such. And there are skills that need to be learned, unless you want to keep it a hobby with it, which is perfectly fine. But if you need to pay bills, right? And actually make an impact as well, right?
Mm. And I think as well, like shifting from freelancer to business makes me feel more comfortable or like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess more comfortable reinvesting because I'm
Yeah.
reinvesting in my business. I'm not like when I say freelance, it feels like I'm reinvesting in just myself, which is not a problem, but I wouldn't want to use my business money for me. I don't know. Like it makes a difference in my
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I still have these conversations with myself and I'm like, okay, I could invest in this right now. Do I need it? Will it help me move forward? And I have to ask myself these questions because I'm very conscious about where I spend my money and where I spend my time now. Whereas before, actually, when I was a freelancer, working for clients and doing their marketing, social media marketing and copywriting and other things, I was actually, thinking that, okay, well, I don't need to invest this because I could just again we're getting into this DIY conversation. I wasn't asking these questions actually. I was just usually saying no and then
Hmm.
moving on and struggling a little bit. As soon as I got that money mindset a little bit shifted, then it started to get easier. And as soon as I made that first investment for a program, I was like, okay, that actually worked. And then, the next year I increased my revenue by 36%. And then, it just started that one investment got the engine running, I guess.
Yeah, like a little snowball effect, doesn't it?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Thinking back to all you learned in
Mm.
marketing by nature, can you tell us your biggest takeaway?
There's so many. I think like doing all of the sort of brand identity work at the start. So like thinking about our values, our, purpose, narrative, like vision narrative, for all of that was quite helpful because it's not something that I would ever have thought to do for myself because I was like, again, thinking of myself as being small and not a business. I was like, this is what businesses do. I don't need to do this. Like I know who I am. I know who I want to work with. But actually writing that out made me feel really like empowered and really excited, especially like the vision narrative, because I was like, yeah, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. And I think if it was making me excited and inspired, then hopefully it would be making my dream clients excited and inspired to read that. So that was a really quite important piece of work to like spend time on and like walk away with. I also think just the tracking, all of the tracking was super important. And it, because again, I would have DIY'd trying to like figure out how to like accurately track everything and all of the formulas and what's important for me. But having it being, you know, given to us and we can customize from there, like took out so much time. And also made me value tracking. Because I think it's not until like you look back and you're like, oh, like I think I put in my feedback, I was like, oh, I've only posted like 6 times on LinkedIn. I was like, I really thought I'd posted more than that. And I was like, no, you haven't. You posted 6 times in the last like however much. No wonder nothing has come through from LinkedIn because you haven't been posting. I'm really excited to see how like going forward that tracking can, you know, help me make better decisions about like what kind of content I'm putting out there, how I'm promoting. I'm noticing it more now as well. I'm being more like analytical in the types of content.
Mm.
Bit of a side tangent, but I went home over the weekend for a like school friend's 30th birthday, and like her younger brother was talking to me about, he's like, oh, I can see what you're doing on LinkedIn, it's amazing. And I was like, I didn't even know I had you on LinkedIn. And he's like, yeah, I really like what you're doing. And it just, yeah, it goes to show that you don't know who's looking at your content, whether they're interacting with it or not.
Mm.
And I have always known that, but to actually hear it, you know, said back to you was quite validating.
That's true. So many people don't track because it's like data, it's spreadsheets, it's looking back and just looking at numbers. You know, it can feel kind of daunting or, you know, just boring. But actually,
Mm,
like I've grown to love numbers because they have there's so much information in those numbers. Just to have that confidence that you're spending your time wisely, right? And
mhm,
that what you're doing is working. And then you have a number like a conversion rate where you can say, okay, next time I want to increase that by just 1%, you know, and then you
mhm.
just change one thing and then you just increase it. There's a lot to say about that because if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. Somebody said, I don't know who said that, but that's like a phrase.
It is true, yeah.
It is, yeah, yeah. Got to know what your work is actually doing in results because you want results, right? And a lot of people
Mm.
just skip that part or they don't even set any goals because they're afraid to be disappointed. And
Mm.
without goals or intentions, then it's like, okay, what are you trying to do here? Are you just posting for posting sake, right? Which a lot
Yeah,
of people just do, right? Or they're just like they're posting maybe important information, but it's not getting them new clients. It's not getting them work.
yeah. I think
Um,
that as well was a good like takeaway of building out an offer rather than services, like having
mm.
an actual offer, which I've started to do, and as really like just the difference in the reception has been, yeah, like quite incredible, really, because before it'd be like, oh, I do websites, I do blogs, I do this. Everybody can say that they do that, but to actually have something where it's like, this is what I do, for, like, and these are the benefits, these are the specific things that you, problems that you can come to this offer to get solved. Like actually being able to have an offer rather than people having to do the work themselves of thinking, okay, do I need this? Do I need that? And then framing all of my content around those offers.
Yeah. Do you want
So
to tell us about your offer?
yeah, so I have just launched a new hot seat hour
Mm.
offer, which is, you know, kind of like a power hour where you can take an hour of my time to pick my brain on this very like specific problem that you're having, whether it's with like your copywriting, with your messaging, with your website, maybe you have an offer yourself that you want to nail down. And if you've just been kind of working on it yourself, you kind of spiral and you just need an outside perspective. So the way that it works is I'll ask people to fill out a questionnaire, like a little survey form to get into the nitty-gritty of what they actually want solving, and figure out what they've done already and, maybe what's worked and what hasn't worked. Then we'll jump on the call and kind of discuss it. And that way we don't have to spend time talking about the problem because we've already done it in the surveys, straight in, with helping with find a solution and bat off like ideas. And then I'll follow up with a little kind of 1 to 2 pager, depending on how big the problem is, on what was discussed and how to solve it. And then the key thing is the action steps, like, tangible action steps that you can take, with specific results in mind. So I've already had, 3 people sign up to that, and I only launched it the other day. So that's really exciting. I'm doing the first 10 for free as like a introductory offer. And then hopefully I'll be able to get some nice feedback from those people and be able to tweak it and refine it and make it better. So that's like the first one that I've put out there. I have got others that I'm thinking about that we worked on in the course, but they're kind of like the bigger, meatier ones. So I want to try and work my way up and get feedback along each way, so that when I do come to like launch the bigger one, it's as optimized as it possibly can be.
Congratulations. That was a good offer. I actually saw it on LinkedIn. I was like, woo. Let's talk about challenges. Like, what did you find most challenging about creating your strategy during this time that we spent together?
I think that like trusting the process and not feeling like we're going to walk out of that first call and have a strategy done. Like, I knew it was going to be a lot of work, but it was quite intense. And there was times where I felt like I couldn't catch up on the homework, and then I got frustrated at myself. And I was like, it's okay, you'll get it done at some point. It's not, Jessica's not going to tell you off and give you a slap on the wrist. It's but I think me being like that perfectionist, and like I was always a goody two shoes in school, so I felt like I was turning up to a call without having done my homework. But it was never like, I was never made to feel like it was a big problem. So
Yeah.
I think the challenge here was finding the time. I maybe went into it thinking it wouldn't be as much work as it was. So I think for anyone joining, it's like, yeah, be prepared. It is a lot of work, but it is so worth every like minute that you spend on it, and just finding the time to prioritize it. There are, of course, things that you can like go back and do at a later date or in your like, but it's, I think, to keep the momentum going and to keep that accountability going, it's good to have it done week by week, for sure.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Like you said, you could always go back. That's part of it. Always refining, because people change, your audience will change, the world is changing like quicker than we want. Well, yeah, changing for the better, but also still kind of crazy. Know that we can go back. Know that we can go back and refine and be gentle with ourselves, right? That's what you said. Like, just be kind and accept that. And no, I definitely will not yell at anybody. Can you share any specific example of how marketing by nature helped you overcome a challenge in your business? It may be too early to answer that since we just finished.
Potentially like just the whole like niching down thing, because that was something that prior to joining, I said, like I'd kind of announced on LinkedIn that I was niching down into sustainability. But then I realized that I still really broad, because every kind of sector and industry can have a sustainable version or a sustainable angle on it. So it's like, well, that's still quite a general thing to be. So I think actually like honing in on the sustainable and circular fashion helps solve that problem of me wanting to get out of being a generalist to a more specific like copywriter. So yeah, I'd say that, but that wasn't necessarily a big challenge that I was like aware of. It was just something that came to light during the course. I think probably like reaching out to people more and actually putting in those connection requests on LinkedIn with people within the industry that I want to work with. Because I felt like my LinkedIn is lovely. Like I've got a really nice community, but it's all fellow copywriters. It's all fellow like creatives. It's all fellow designers. So it's a really lovely, like supportive community that I've got. But again, if I'm putting any content out there, I'm not talking to my ideal customer. So that was kind of a problem, I think, in that I wasn't getting as many leads through LinkedIn as I probably could have been. So Marketing by Nature helped in encouraging us to actually start making those connection requests and sending those DMs and writing all of those preps DMs that we could send out. Not that I use them that often, I will be honest. I
Mm.
think I tend to just, being a writer, I'm like, I'll just write like a little quick.
Exactly.
So it's I think yeah, for me that wasn't like a big challenge, but actually doing the reaching out and finding the right people was a challenge that I now feel like I've overcome, and I'm growing my network and I'm engaging with a lot of people. So that's good.
Cool. Let's talk about like tangible results. Like you did mention that you were invited to speak to two.
Yeah, so there are two like networking events. They're two
Mm,
completely separate things that came about like independently. So that's good. Yeah, I'm definitely getting more engagement from the right people
mm,
on my like LinkedIn posts. I think as well that's like two reasons. I'm writing content that's appealing to those people, but I'm also connecting with those people, and my LinkedIn profile is optimized to, intrigue those key people that I want to attract. So having, like my banner and my headline and everything be around sustainable and secular fashion and like, not greenwashing and being a copywriter, all of that has really helped people actually connect with me. And I've had a couple of like market research calls as well, which I don't think I would have had my LinkedIn not been optimized for that. I'm still trying to get more in the diary, so that's still like a work in progress. But yeah, so that's like more than I'd ever had before. Like I was at zero, so I don't know what
mm.
percentage that is, but that's like definitely a huge increase. And as well, like getting invited to these two and like speaker opportunities, because I actually did have that as a goal. I was like, I would really love to be invited and do like a little webinar or speaker opportunity. So the first one is with a Gen Z copywriting group,
Mm.
and they, I kind of chatted to the girl who organizes it, and it's a like a group of about 600 people across the world. So not all of them will be live on the call, but the recording will be available. So I'm just going to talk to them about like, my niche and how I got into it. And then the next one is an in-person event, like local to me. And it's the first ever networking event I went to, like literally 2 weeks after deciding I was going to go freelance. And I went there and I was like, oh, I'm Saf. I'm a freelance copywriter. I don't really know what I'm doing. So and so it's nice now to be invited back by the organizer. And she said, she really likes that I'm working in sustainability. And the next event is going to be at an eco hub that we've got locally. So I'm going to go and like talk to, it's like loads of different local business owners. So I'm going to go talk to them about like avoiding greenwashing and ethical marketing and why that's important and how they can implement it in their own businesses. So
Yay.
yeah, really
Ah.
excited. I'm really excited for that. That will be, I think, May time.
In May. But you said that's a local event, so there
Mhm.
won't be like a replay or anything like that, or will it be recorded?
No.
No.
I don't know. They might record it. I don't know if they have the facilities of where we're doing it, but the one with the Gen Z uh, group, it's called Word Tonic, is like a membership thing. So you have to, I think it's only available to members, but as I said, there's about 600 of them.
Ah, congratulations and have fun with that. Yeah, I mean, you're a
Yeah,
great
I'm really
speaker.
excited.
Yeah, that's going to be a big door opener too, I think. So, do you feel that marketing by nature has contributed to your personal growth and development as a creative professional?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, as I've mentioned, the confidence, the self-belief, all of that has really had a big role to play in how I've taken my business forward. Had I not had the confidence and that belief in myself to, follow my passion and actually work within the niche that I wanted to work in, then I wouldn't be sat here today saying like, oh yeah, I'm a copywriter that works with sustainable and circular fashion brands. And I think it doesn't matter that like I haven't worked with those kind of clients specifically before. It doesn't matter that like I'm still working on building that client base now. Like I believe that that is what I am. That's who I write for, and I know that it's going to come. Whereas if I'd been kind of on the fence about, oh, this is what I would like to do, but I'm not that yet. Do you know what I mean? It's like having that belief in yourself before it actually
Yeah.
manifests.
Yes.
So I think that's like been great for
Yeah.
my like personal development. And also it's just been a really lovely group of people that we've had. Like we've been really
Mhm.
lucky to have that. So now I have more friends and that's always nice. And people that actually have been through the same process and who have been on that same journey
Mhm.
is really nice to have that supportive network that I know will carry on. So thank you for
Absolutely.
bringing us all together.
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of my job. To continue that conversation, can you describe the ongoing support and resources that you received through the program that helped your accountability,
Hmm.
growth? Yeah, do you want to say anything more about that? Like even after we closed, I mean, those who come into the program are in it for life, for the lifetime of
Mm.
the program. Do you have anything to say about the support that you've received from me or from the group altogether?
Yeah, I think it's been obviously kind of like quieting down a little bit. I think we all kind of needed a breather.
Yeah.
Now it's like me and like the girls, we all still talk quite regularly, and we're gonna have our own little co-working session this Friday. So
Oh,
to
cool.
replace our normal one, we're gonna like just jump on and see what happens. But also like you've continued to like share opportunities and updates on like the resources that we had. So that's been really appreciated because it's not like you've just said goodbye and made us walk off a cliff. So I really appreciate having that continued support afterwards. And I know that like and specifically the resource document that we've got will continue to be updated. And there's still so much on there that I haven't even had chance to like actually go through. But I know that like if I do need anything, I can just check that first before like trying to do a wild, online search myself. Yeah, like I know if I ever have any question, you'll be like very willing to answer. So it's nice to have that security and to feel supported and like held in like this space and not have to think, right, well, I'm out on my own now. So, and also you always like my LinkedIn content, but that's brilliant.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate you and the others for also your feedback, because like being an early adopter, I don't know if you've ever been a beta tester for any software or anything. Have you? Like I love to do it like tools that I'm working with. I'm like, I'm always like going to support and saying, okay, well, I need this, I need that. And they're like, okay, we'll send it on. But in the early stages, actually, when you say that stuff, it gets done. So that's like a benefit of being an early adopter where, you can definitely get your needs met and, later on as well. However, in this initial stage, that's when the co-creation happens, and
Mm,
it's just it's just easier to be able to express what you need. Like there's more space for that and more
mm.
opportunity, and then you do get those resources that you need or whatever it is. What advice would you give someone who wants to integrate sustainability and ethical practices into their existing marketing strategies, but doesn't know where to start?
Can I say like just join the marketing by nature?
You can.
Of course.
Sure.
You'll learn everything you need to know. I think that like just be really aware if you've already got like a marketing strategy in place, to just be really aware that you've got intention behind everything that you're doing and what that intention is, because it's very quick and easy to jump on trends or like this idea of wanting to go viral, and that can lead to a lot of like quite unsustainable practices. So like I recently posted about the Stanley Cup phenomenon, the Stanley tumblers, and how at their core they're a sustainable brand. They make things that are built for life. They use sustainable materials that can be very easily recycled because it's all like steel. But then they were relying on these like scarcity marketing tactics, which create this false sense of, well, scarcity and something not being available. So people rush to buy it and overconsume a water bottle that they don't need because, let's be honest, you need one each and that's it.
Yeah.
So had they have taken a step back and actually looked at their values and realized this isn't in line with who we say we are, they probably wouldn't have fallen into that trap. And yeah, it's made them a lot of money, but I think as with any of these kind of viral products or brands or services, they peak and then they come crashing down. That's just the way that the cycle goes. So if you're wanting to build something that's sustainable and is able to kind of peter on, then you wouldn't need to rely on those kind of marketing tactics.
Thank you.
Mm.
I love to hear stuff like that
Yeah.
from other people. That's nice. Who do you think would benefit most from this program?
I mean, I was going to say like freelancers that have maybe just started out, but then I don't think that's necessarily true because I think anyone that's maybe like, even if you've been freelancing for like 5 years, if you feel that you're at a point where your growth is stagnant or you want to have a change in direction, or you've kind of lost sense of why you started freelancing or who you are in like as a business owner, then it is a good place to kind of get that perspective and really strip your business back to its like core elements and then build it back up from there. So I'd really say it's for any kind of creative freelancer that feels dissatisfied or confused or a little bit scared and fearful to take the next step in the growth of their future. But I mean, even if you think you've got it all figured out, there's a lot that you can learn here. So
That's true.
there is a
That's true.
lot that you can learn.
Where
Yeah.
everybody's still learning, right? Everybody.
Hmm.
And what would you say to someone who's on the fence about joining?
I think it depends on why they were on the fence. So if they were like me and they're on the fence of like the financial side of things, like as we've already discussed, I think it's about shifting your mindset around actually investing in yourself and investing in your business and knowing that you are going to find that this money comes back to you at a much quicker rate than had you not have done the course. If you're on the fence because of like the time, then I guess you just have to look at like what's a priority for you or how you're spending your time currently. Are you busying yourself with things that aren't maybe like profitable or aren't like important for you to do and you're DIYing a lot of things? But also it might not be the right time for you to do it now, but like know that there are future iterations that will only just be bigger and better than the first one. So there's always like time to kind of revisit it and see what, where you are in like the next iteration, whether that's like 6 months time or a year time. But I always think with these things, like the more you put it off, the kind of the more you're just like keeping yourself in that limbo stage where it's better to just kind of make a decision and if you're like thinking about it, just go for it.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I think that like you as a person have been really great at like delivering it. I think you've just been really honest, you've been really supportive, and you have been very transparent, which I've really appreciated, especially like in the first iteration, you've actually said, this is what I'm working on. This is maybe this kind of software isn't going to work, so give us your feedback. And you've been very like receptive of all of our feedback and implemented all of those changes that we wanted. And I know that you will continue to do that in every iteration, and that's like really appreciative. It's not been the case of like, no, this is how the course is, you have to like it or lump it. So I really appreciate that you gave us that space to voice our opinions and take our feedback on board, which I don't think you get with a lot of courses, to be honest. You also kept us all accountable and still constantly checking up on us and making sure that we're like, have everything that we need to absolutely flourish in our business. And I can like the way that you genuinely care. So I think that like anyone could do a marketing course anywhere, but they're not going to have Jessica leading it. So
Thank you.
I think you're you what are what makes the difference.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. That's
Okay.
I really, really appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, so Saf, tell us how people can get in touch with you, especially if they're in the circular fashion sector and they want
Mm.
a messaging extraordinaire. Yeah. And because she's really seriously, people, Saf is so brilliant in her writing, in her copyright, in her messaging. And she's gonna blow your minds off. So if you're in the circular fashion sector, contact her. So Saf, tell us where they can find you.
So you can find me lurking around on LinkedIn, Safiya Allaf, and you'll find me. Or you can head to my website. That's just www.safiyaallaf.com, or send me an email, safia.allaf@gmail.com. And that's where you can find me, and I'll be very happy to help anyone within the circular fashion and sustainable fashion space. Even if you're not in that space and you just need a little bit of support with your like sustainable messaging and want to avoid greenwashing, because we know we don't want to be painted with that green brush, so you can get in touch as well.
Exactly. I'll put all that information in the description so you could just click on the links. Thank you so much, Saf. If anybody has any questions for Saf, you could write them down in the comments or contact her directly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Do you have any final words that you would like to say?
Just if you're thinking about joining the Marketing by Nature course, just do it. You won't regret it.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope everybody has a lovely day and we'll talk to you soon. If you want to talk to me, I'll also put that information down there. And then we can talk about the program. We can talk about what you're struggling with marketing wise. I'd be glad to help. Even if you're not thinking about joining, I'll still be glad to help. So just contact me. Okay. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.
Bye.